If your team got guaranteed money, tell them call me.
Whoop. Make me say, my. I done been around the world.
Yeah, I was made for this.
Player Performance with J.A. Cavalier.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to NBA Player Performance on this Wednesday, April the 23rd, 2025. It is the Shark and Luke Shuey. We are hosting for the next couple weeks. We got 3 games on the card today. We got a bunch of stuff, couple tough games early, couple injuries. Felt like I was looking at the regular season with Jason Tatum, questionable. Big time stuff at 9:30. Luke in a coffee shop. Where else would he be on a Wednesday? Luke, what's going on?
You know where to find me, back with the lucky sweatshirt, in a coffee shop, caffeinating and making picks. I'm ready to roll. Got some interesting stuff tonight. I think we have some valuable props and some really good games. I mean, will the Celtics perform without Tatum? Will the Heat try and make this a series? Can the Rockets actually get a win at home? So many good questions. Lots to dive into tonight. Shark and Shuey back at it.
Our guy Anand says, Luke, you better scream book it today. Well, it is almost 4 o'clock Eastern. That coffee shop is not crowded right now. He probably got the whole place to himself. Going to shoot a couple threes. We're going to make some money. We got people in the chat. 3-game card. NBA Player Performance starts now.
I live the bright lights, the type, the crowd lights. Where you at, ballers? Ladies love me and men, they want a penny, they pay to come see me. Where you at, ballers?
7 o'clock in Boston. Game 2, Orlando at the Celtics. Line opened up at 12.5. It is down to 10.5 now. That is because Jason Tatum is questionable or doubtful, depending on your source. I don't know if he's going to play tonight. That obviously is a big question mark in terms of the prognostication and handicap in this game. We got angles. We got conversation. Luke, open us up with a couple props. I will give you the details after.
I love it. I mean, it's interesting to see. I'd love to hear your take on the total in this game because it's so damn low. It's like last time I checked, it was 196. I mean, that's wild. Is it going to be like 80 to 70, like a freaking 1960s game? Interesting take. Love to hear your side of that. But for props, I'm really looking to try and take advantage. I don't expect Tatum to play. He's doubtful, wrist injury. Why would they force it against a Magic team they should be able to handle? Because they only have 2 threats offensively. Banchero and Wagner shot 51 times combined in game 1. If they can't spread the wealth, they're not going to win a game in this series. I do look for Wagner again to dominate probably ball possession, and Banchero, they're just going to shoot. They're going to shoot. We see it time and time again. You'd have to lean to their overs, if anything. I'm not backing anyone else on the Magic. You can guarantee that. I faded Wendell Carter game 1. That was successful. But for me, it's more of the niche market here for the Celtics. I really do expect Pritchard to get more tick tonight. He played really well in game 1, wasn't afraid to shoot the ball, knock down a bunch of threes. I think he's going to get 30-plus minutes tonight, and he's the guy that you know is looking to hit the spotlight. Like, he's not afraid to shoot anytime down the court for a Celtics team that should get up a bunch of threes. Orlando does not stop the three-point attempt. They just shut down your percentage. So I think Pritchard is a good look tonight. I also like potentially a guy like Sam Hauser off the bench, but you have to be careful. Shark and I were talking about this. You don't know how much he's going to play. Regular season, if Tatum's out, Hauser's going to get a lot of minutes. He should go over his stat lines. Tonight could be different. You could get the starters playing 40 minutes, so just hesitation there. But I'm looking at Pritchard. I'm looking at Hauser. And then lastly, before I hand it back to you, Shark, for anyone that is on my VIP last night, I had a loyal follower DM me. This was hilarious. We tried to pull up the clip, but it wasn't working. Obi Toppin, we went over 6.5 points. He knocked down a 3 in the 4th quarter from the corner to hit the over, and the announcer literally goes, Obi Toppin from the corner for 3, book it. And he literally booked it for me on the cover. It's too good. We'll have to get the clip to you guys at some point. But anyone that followed that and tailed me, I hope you enjoyed and heard him yell the book it. So Hauser and Pritchard is where I'm at, Shark.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at this game, I think that this is one of those games you can kind of just squarely look at and expect almost a repeat of game 1, particularly from the Orlando side in terms of the points distribution. This team is just so top-heavy. It's all Banchero and Franz Wagner. They just don't do anything outside of these 2 players. I mean, occasionally you see Wendell Carter Jr. score like 10 or 12 points, but their second unit in the first game only scored 18 combined points. No other player on the roster scored more than 7 points. And my original thought when I was handicapping this was kind of a reversal, that these guys are going to have to score the ball. That's why I said it's a square take, because a square take means it's just going to repeat and it's super obvious. I honestly think you guys could get away with taking Banchero over again in the points market, 26.5, and Wagner over again in the points market, 22.5. And I was looking at Wagner specifically. He's only played twice against Boston this year, once in the regular season and once in game 1. I'm not sure exactly. I think he was injured early season. He scored precisely 23 points in both games. It's hard to see him going under this. Top free play in this game for me would be Wagner specifically over 22.5. And I do want to talk about Latvia's finest, Kristaps Porzingis, 7'3", drafted by the Knicks. Surprisingly, about 13 years. I can't believe this guy's so old, but he had a terrible game 1. 1 for 8 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, only 5 points. Come on, KP, bro. This is not Knicks 2013. This is championship basketball in Boston. Look, what do you think? KP going over tonight?
He did not look good. I mean, he was kind of disengaged from the offense, to be honest. He lacked confidence after he missed a couple shots. I do look for him tonight because what did the books do? He had a 1 for 8 shooting performance, and they upped his line. I mean, they increased his line to 19.5. The value plays on the over here simply because if he makes his first few shots, Porzingis can catch fire, and he's not afraid to shoot it. There are games where he's shot 25 times. I would lean strong on the over for what the books are showing us. And you guys in the chat are spot on here. I was going Hauser simply for value. He's not going to get as much playing time as he would in the regular season, but if you check his stats without Tatum playing, in his whole career, not just this season, 10.9 points, 4 rebounds, almost 2 assists. He plays well and is not afraid to be offensively mindset. Wow, I can't talk. Doesn't have an offense. Wow, am I drunk? What's going on?
Look, take another sip of coffee. We need that. We need that jolt.
Hauser is not afraid to shoot the ball is what I'm trying to say. And then I like what Chad's saying here. What's your take on this, Shark? He said all double-digit spreads have been covered by home teams in the playoffs so far. That's literally every single one. Is that some trend that we should continue following simply until it doesn't work? What do you think about that?
I think, we're going to get to the Cavs game in a minute here. I think when you look back at what's been going on here in game 2 last night, I don't think anybody with a sane mind was backing the Grizzlies to cover at Oklahoma City. So that's just Oklahoma City being, as we've said, the top point per game differential in NBA history. They just kick everybody's ass. It's just what happens. And the other games last night, it was actually a book number towards Indiana. We talk about line functionality. Indiana in game 1 was actually -4.5, and they were moved up to -5.5. And what that means from a book standpoint is they covered game 1. Books know Milwaukee needs the game and it's revenge, and Lillard's coming back, and they still said we like Indiana with more strength. This game tonight is very hard to figure out because of the Tatum situation. I don't think he's going to play. I think the line indicates that. Obviously, it's steaming down significantly to 10.5 now. But, we saw how Boston performed in the regular season without Tatum. This is one of the best teams in the league without their superstar players. They have incredible depth. And the center point of this conversation around Kristaps Porzingis does extend, as we said, to all the other guys. And, I know Luke was betting these guys before I started betting props in January myself, but this is pretty much just a stock thing with these Boston players, Peyton Pritchard, Luke Cornett, and Sam Hauser. And now it's extended to other guys. It's got Baylor, Shireman. These guys coming out of the woodwork, dropping like 15 a night when Tatum sits.
Do you know where he's from? That's a good trivia.
I should know that. He sounds like a dude from Duke. I know he didn't go to Duke, though. Is he from like Marquette or something?
No, he does sound like a Duke name. No, he's fun to follow. The reason I know is because he was a March Madness name from a couple years ago. He played on the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. And then he transferred to Creighton for his last year of eligibility, where they had a really good offensive team. And thus he made an NBA roster. But, yeah, he's from South Dakota State.
Wow. Okay, I would have never guessed that. I mean, I did Marquette ranging in the geographic region there. Our guy Anand didn't know where Latvia was, so we're talking. This is what happens when Shark and Shuey get in here. Instead of talking about midget porn, we talk about Latvia and South Dakota. Next, we're going to be talking about Northern Canada. These superstars coming out of nowhere. It's just a vibe, and apparently JA's no doubt route just cash for you. Those of you guys who bet that, cash, quick, fast. And let's keep it moving here. Second game on the card, 7:30 in Cleveland. We're talking about big lines. Here is another one. Cleveland laying 10, 12, 13 in some markets. Looks like it's settling at -12 right now. Rematch of game one. 121-100 Cleveland. Donovan Mitchell had some great comments before the game saying, listen, this is our year. This is our time. We're not going to waste the 1 seed. And you saw it. They were all business. They let down a little in the third quarter. They just hammered them in the fourth. I honestly think Cleveland's going to take care of business again tonight. I know the Heat were darlings on the road as an underdog for years. They went to the finals as a very low seed a couple years ago. That was Jimmy Butler. That was a different roster. It's not this team. I could only look towards Cleveland to cover again in this one. Luke, I know we have a couple marquee props in this game. I think one of them will be VIP for those of you guys who are picking up my package today. Shark NBA playoffs that includes baseball as well. 2 months, $100. I said it, guys. Save your money, buy the package, and let's cash tickets. Luke, any props?
Yeah, I just got to address Brock in the comments. He loves chirping. It's okay. We can chirp back. Your free plays, if you tailed, I know that my free plays didn't hit well yesterday, but Jackson Hayes covered, so I don't know where we're referencing that they all didn't hit. Anyways, what it pays to pay, you guys. My max plays are 5-1. We have another one in this game. That's why I bring it up. So the VIP is where we put our best plays, of course. My top plays in this game. And where I'm looking, I think Shark said he would lean towards Cleveland. I don't mind that. I think the interesting take here is just how Cleveland's going to score. Miami's clearly going to try and shut down Mitchell and Garland. They just absolutely dominated the point production in game one along with Ty Jerome. So it was their backcourt. It was like purely a backcourt game. Spoelstra's too good of a coach to let that happen again. I look for them to kind of shut down the guard play, not get as many open threes, and force them to attack the rim. So it's guys like Mobley, Jared Allen that I'm looking for in the paint, potentially some role players to be more of the scoring option for Cleveland tonight. So that is, I think they can score. I think they will, of course, get it done and win this game. But I'm not looking towards guys like Mitchell and Garland. It's more like a Mobley game. So I love Mobley over 16.5 points. Model projects him for 19 tonight, so that's a good advantage on the line. I think it's even a plus money line at this point. So that's where I'm looking, Shark. It's Mobley and these other guys on the Cavs.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I think, as you said, the game on Sunday was kind of, I hate to say it because it was a playoff game and Cleveland did cover and looked, pretty emphatic in the process, but it was kind of like your stock BS NBA game in 2025 where the teams come out on a weekend. They kind of act like they don't want to be there from the standpoint of not a lot of physicality, not a lot of real deep strategy offensively, just kind of hovering around the perimeter and shooting threes. And I think you're going to see a reversal. I really do. And I think this is going to be predicated most specifically on Spoelstra. You want to talk about Jimmy Butler not being on the roster, having a younger team, obviously Andrew Wiggins coming over from the Warriors, all this stuff. The continuum here is Spoelstra. And Spoelstra is going to tell his guys, listen, let's compete, and let's compete first off at the three-point line. We cannot let Donovan Mitchell and Garland and others just rain it down all game on us. You're going to see a ton of pressure and a ton of closeouts at the three-point line, and that is going to open up down low. It's going to be Mobley. It's going to be Jared Allen. Wait, hold on.
Chad is on point here. Where's this kid from San Francisco? Anyways, Bernsey has our back. I think he might have given him the boot. And I appreciate you guys in the chat. Yeah, Kevin Porter Jr. was our max bet last night under PRA, and he had 5 PRA until the fourth quarter. He started to go off, thankfully, and then got a flagrant foul, and he covered fairly easily. But sorry, I just had to laugh. Chad is right on point there with his comments.
No, I appreciate the laugh. That must mean the coffee's setting in over there. How's the caffeine feeling?
We're good. This is round 2 today. When you have 2 young kids, third on the way, it's multiple. It's like a titration throughout the day. You get your morning dose, you get your midday dose, and your afternoon dose. And we like to roll with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. One of the guys in the chat said he must be from San Francisco. I got to be honest with you guys. When I saw that guy's name yesterday, I first thought Brock Purdy. I think we might be conflating Brock Purdy. I thought Purdy, San Francisco. There's some Brocks in sports, but I think the most noteworthy Brock right now is certainly the quarterback for the 49ers. Here we are talking about 49ers on a suddenly not so casual Wednesday, but that guy's gone. Good for him. Let's stay the course of this game. As I said, I think this is going to be a defensive game from the Heat. I think they're going to really focus on the perimeter, and that's going to open up down low. The paint's going to be open. It's going to be Jared Allen. One of our guys in the chat said Jared Allen double-double. I certainly wouldn't disagree with that idea. Not sure if he gets to 10-plus in both metric points there, but it's certainly going to be an uptick for him. And Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley played a terrible basketball game on over the weekend. 4 for 10 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3. I think even more importantly, did not even attempt a free throw. So you talk about a game, as I said, playoffs or not, it really kind of had a lackadaisical open gym type of feel to it, which you don't expect in the playoffs. I mean, you guys have seen these games. We're talking about it in the chat, unders, all these low-scoring games. That game was the only game really in this first round outside of the Indy game last night that really kind of felt like an open gym run on a weekend. I wasn't thrilled with it at all, I got to be honest with you. I thought it was kind of a bullshit game. I thought neither team really brought a lot of intensity, and Cleveland was just a better team, so they scored the ball from the three-point line. But this is where you're going to see Mobley bounce back. And in the games this year against Miami, very polarized. He did score 9 in that game, so low. There was another game he scored only 4 against Miami in the regular season. The other two, 22 and 16. And the one he had 16, he did miss 5 free throws. So I think there's a bounce back for Mobley tonight. A lot of moving parts. I do think Cleveland covers the game. I think it could be tight. You saw Oklahoma City last night at a big line. They ended up winning the game 118-99. They kind of gave it back a little bit in the second half. It was tight. It's going to play very similar to OKC game 2 last night against Memphis. Cleveland will cover based on this number. It's going to hover around it, and they'll probably pull away late and win somewhere in the vicinity of 14 or 15 points. Staying course here, biggest game of the night by far, doubleheader game 2. Warriors-Rockets in Houston. That is 9:30 Eastern. I believe that is 8:30 in Houston. This is the game you want to watch, and I think for most people you want to bet. We said it last night with the Lakers. When teams that are higher seeds lose game 1 at home, game 2 takes on a game 7 environment. And even better, it's only game 7 for the home team because the road team already stole one and is kind of coasting, waiting for their home court game 1 in game 3. I think the only look in this game is Houston. Luke, did you get to any props?
Yes. So I know people are going to say it's too scary to bet against Steve Kerr in Golden State with Curry and Butler. I get that. It's not comfortable, but I agree that Houston is the spot here. This is a game I watched every second of the other night because I had Fred VanVleet under 14.5 points as my max play, which cashed. And tonight it's another look. You could look to VanVleet's under. It's a little less valuable because he's going to play 40 minutes, but I still lean slightly under on that. But where I'm looking is a massive bounce back spot for Jalen Green. Anyone that watched the game, he was completely out of sorts from the tip. Horrible shooting game. He attacked the rim well, but he could not finish. Some of the time he was just throwing up layups off the backboard. It looked bad. Tonight, I expect a much more concerted, focused effort at attacking the rim. And I do think he's going to get to the free throw line early, which will open things up from deep. So it's a Jalen Green bounce back game for me. I have him over 17.5 points tonight. It's a buy low spot. The books, of course, don't think anyone in this game is going to necessarily explode in the points category, but someone has to score. I think it's Green and Brooks getting up a lot more shots. Brooks was really hesitant to shoot the other night, and he's sometimes can put up 20 plus. So I think, you saw Şengün dominate the paint. Golden State's probably going to focus a little more on that. So I'm thinking Brooks, Amen Thompson, Green tonight. That trio is probably going to get it done. And I know I don't pick a side, but I have Houston winning this by like 8 to 9 points. So I'm with you, Shark. I back that and I co-sign it fully.
Yeah, as I said, these are just spots you want to buy. We said it with Lakers last night. I had a VIP play, and again, these are not expected to necessarily be blowouts. Luke's saying 9. I have Houston to win. It sounds almost rhetorical, like I'm just like modeling the Vegas number. I have them to win by 4. So you're looking at a 3.5. It's a hook cover. I could see this game being somewhere in the vicinity of like 102 to 98 or something like that.
Hey, it's our score. It's our plus 11,000 odds. You just said it. What was it?
Hold on, that's not really. If I wanted to give an exact score, this is what it would be.
We got to do one because you've been so close multiple times.
It would be.
What is the over under? What's the over under here, Shark?
All right, here's our final score. If you guys want a final score play in the chat, type plus 11,000. See how many people in the chat type plus 11,000. I'll drop it in a minute. We'll see if we can cash this one. We're gonna hit one of these eventually. As I said, we hit one in the regular season. It was Hawks Hornets. Nothing to do with this, but that's just kind of what happens when you're betting. Like, you never know when you're going to hit gold. Doesn't have to be a marquee game, but staying course with this. I heard something in the post game I did not like for the Warriors. Jimmy Butler. I like Jimmy Butler. Jay has been on here, obviously huge fan of Jimmy. And then when he left, Jay kind of gave him like his farewell, maybe not in the most, jovial, happy way. But I like Jimmy. But after game 1, they were interviewing him on the court. Of course, he had a great game. It was real throwback playoff Jimmy. He went over 30, the whole thing. And he said, well, we got game 1, but he said more importantly, we got what we came for. I didn't like that because that speaks to complacency in game 2.
That means they were just looking to get one of the 2 games. Yep.
Exactly. We got what we came for. So that means they didn't come for 2. And when they got 1, now it's hard to get back up for that. And, one of the most famous quotes within this idea was Kobe Bryant, obviously in the finals, having won a massive game. Reporters asking him, how do you feel? You just won a big road game. And he said, job's not done.
Yes, right.
Point is, Jimmy Butler, obviously a great player, but you don't want to hear that from your guy at all. You want to hear, we got him on the ropes. We dominated them. Let's get game 2. So I don't know. I just don't like that at all.
I agree. And the reason I thought game 1 was the Warriors' spot was truly the veteran, laid team. Like, the Rockets have not been in this position. They're young. They're super talented, really good defense, really physical, but they didn't have enough scoring options to win game 1 in that atmosphere. I thought the spot was too big. Now they're settled. I think this is where they absolutely get a win. I am definitely on Houston tonight. I couldn't say it enough how I think now the public has shifted to Golden State. I feel that Houston comes out strong tonight for all the reasons we're saying. And not to put you on the spot again, but I just finally pulled it up. The over-under is 204.5. So if the Rockets win by 4, what's our score here, Shark?
Line functionality has it lower. So the final based on line functionality, because the way that I grade this, it's not based on just the book numbers. It's line functionality, which is, how my model reads the numbers and then interprets to a final. It would actually be 100 to 96.
I love that. Okay. Yeah.
So our final, we'll give it to you guys. Of course, this is like pizza money. This might even be like, the crumbs of pizza money, like the smallest of wagers here. Don't go nuts. 100 to 96 Houston. Let's cash it. Why not? And as we're talking about this game, I was looking at props and trying to figure out some stuff here. One of the things that Luke and I did so well in the regular season, of course, Luke far more plays and angles than myself, but we really like to buy the teams that nobody's looking at, and find these players. Like, if you guys remember, we cashed a ton with like the Sixers late season after they had gutted their roster.
The Jazz. The Jazz. Sorry, I was a big Jazz guy at the end of the year. Yeah,
exactly. So these games, it's not so much, they're going to be playing role players and we get these incredible buy lows. Like, these guys are pretty much on the mean. As I said, we do like Kristaps Porzingis in the first game, and we like some stuff in the second game as well. This is just going to be tough. So we're going to leave it at that. We think 196 final score, and we will build out a parlay in a minute, and we got best bets. Wednesdays are for winning. The Shark and Shuey, a suddenly not so casual 1 At that, Luke, best bets.
Yeah, my best bet. I'm going to Peyton Pritchard to the window tonight. As Shark just alluded to, guys, the rotations are much different in the playoffs. I expect Boston and Houston specifically to play about 8-man lineups. Boston may go a little deeper, and they're going to play a lot of minutes. Pritchard is going to get 30 plus tonight, and that's minutes, not points. I just have him to go over 11.5. I have him projected for 17 to 20 tonight if he gets enough looks. That's Peyton Pritchard over 11.5 points. Book it.
My top play for the show is going to be Franz Wagner over 22.5 points. And I also, I might as well just give you guys another free play. I really like Porzingis as well to go over. Let's build out a parlay. Let's go 7 legs. We'll use some of those. Luke, you want to start it off?
Yeah, I do. Let's go. We'll go from the early game first. So you and I, we have to do this because Shark and I both texted each other this play earlier today. Evan Mobley over 16.5 points for the Cavs. We both really like that play. So that'll be our first. And then I'll go Pritchard over 11.5. Got to have the best bet in there. So those are the first two.
Okay, let's go with Wagner over 22.5. Porzingis over 19.5. Let's go with Houston money line. I think you can get that at like minus. I see 162 on DraftKings. It's probably your best price there. I also don't see Cleveland losing, so we'll throw that in. Minus 625. Of course, that is your obscenely overpriced chalk special. If you guys go to the sports bar, I'm sure some asshole is sitting there telling you he's got a lock and it's minus 625. But we agree it will win, but it's definitely not some sort of like genius take. Luke, give us how many is that? 3, 5? I guess give us one more, and then I'll throw another one in.
Was that 5 or 6, Bernsey? What are we at? I gave 2. I think you just gave 2 or 3. Sorry.
Oh, did I give 3? I gave Houston money line.
I think that was you gave Cleveland money line and Porzingis, right?
Yeah.
So that's 5.
Maybe I gave 4 or 5. I don't even know. Fuck this. We don't do parlays enough. Luke and I are single bettors, so we're losing our mind here.
He's got it here. We've got Pritchard, Mobley, Wagner, Porzingis, Houston. We're already at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're at 6. So if you want that play, I can do. We kind of need an under in here. I'm feeling an under. There are some under spots here. Let's see if we can get one we agree on. Maybe we look to Cleveland's 3-point unders. Let me see what we can get in that game.
Do we think the Celtics lose
outright?
Well, I mean, we could throw in the money line just to juice it up a little more.
Oh, I guess that's probably most likely. Otherwise, I really kind of like DeAndre Hunter. I don't know. I like Donovan Mitchell's 3-point under. It's at 3.5. I don't think he makes 4 more tonight. He was 2 of 9 last game. I think Davion's going to play physical. I'll leave it to you, Shark. You can go Celtics money line or Donovan Mitchell under 3.5 threes.
Well, I think Celtics money line is just a sketchy bad play because I do think that if the Magic were going to steal a road game, it has to be when Tatum doesn't play.
Yeah.
So I think that that's just as much as we think Cleveland is like a lock at this ridiculous figure, 625. I think the Celtics, they're supposed to win, obviously, but I don't know. There's a little bit of potential.
Let's go Donovan Mitchell 3-point unders. That's under 3.5. I think it's juiced at minus 140. So it's like on FanDuel, DraftKings is about the same. So let's make that the last play.
All right, sounds good to me. And so we'll I think Burnsy's going to put that in the chat. 7-play parlay. Pritchard over, Mobley over, Wagner over. Those are bangers. Porzingis over is a banger. Houston's a good look. Cleveland's a good look. Mitchell 3-point under.
This is a solid parlay. And for those of you that haven't followed, I know we've got a lot of our loyal guys in the comments. I could shout out all your names, but a lot of you have been here. If you weren't, when it's just Shark and I on the show, we love doing these 7-leggers or 8-leggers. And before Jay came back on, 3 or 4 straight days we lost on the hook on the last play, and then we finally hit one. We hit a 7-legger, and so now I think the vibes are still high here for the DGen parlay. And remember, pizza money. I mean, we're talking $5, $10, $15. Don't throw anything major on this, but it's going to pay out a pretty penny.
Yeah, people in New York are saying, Luke, where are you getting a pizza for $10? But I know some pizzas in New York are like $50 right now. Like artichoke pizza, for those of you guys in New York. Artichoke pizza, I mean, it's a freaking cake, basically. It's so freaking huge. But expensive pizza, keep your bets cheap. Let's dominate. And let's go to some questions. I think you guys have some questions. We'll roll through 5, 6, 7, or 8. Seems to be the number of the day, 7 or 8. Burnsy, we got questions.
Practice? We're talking about practice, man.
We're talking about questions, man. I love it. And let's start off. H-Town says, wait, when did the 7-legger hit? Luke, when did it hit? It was a Friday, like a week ago Friday or something, right?
Yes, I can actually tell you. Let me just look it up. Because I know it was Drew Timme. There was like a couple guys that might have got lost by half of a point, but it was I think it was Friday, April 11th. No, I'd have to look back for the exact date. Damn it.
All right, let's go to another question. I'll look for that while you answer the next question. Which one do you guys want to go? Burns, you want to drop one on the screen? There you go. Celtics over, team total over 103.5.
You guys know Jay, when he's on, loves the team totals. I don't have as much of a vibe here, particularly when Tatum's out. I do think it could play, like you'd think it'd play a little faster pace if it was regular season. All the subs from the Celtics, they shoot threes, they chuck threes. I think this will be a little bit different. The books are showing a very strong number on the under here. It's 196. I mean, for an NBA game, 196 is incredibly low. So Bumblebee, I'm not your guy for team totals, but if it's me, I'm going under. I would lean towards the under here. Thoughts on that, Shark?
Yeah, I mean, I think without going into immense detail, one of the things that I always look at as my baseline when I open up these type of caps, I just look at what happened in the previous game to see if there's any sort of expected deviation off the result to the line. I mean, Boston scored 103 points in the first game. It couldn't get any closer here. So what the books are kind of telling you almost literally is that what happened in game one is expected to repeat itself. They're right on the mean. And, this is one of the reasons why we love to bring you guys to this show is because Luke and I really love to get into the numbers of this stuff. It's almost like we're just looking at like actual numbers, not even sports, and averages and the way they're supposed to move. It's just how you need to look at this stuff. Is there expected movement away from the average? You always want a gap from the line versus the previous result, some sort of movement up or down. Not that it's right on the average. So just a point there, and that applies to all sports. Let's go to the next question.
We got some good ones here in the chat.
Pods always seems to play well against the Rockets, Luke. Do you think 12.5 points?
Yeah, so this is Pods. This is Pods for the Warriors. He's a stud, man. He's fun to watch. He really does everything. He attacks the rim for rebounds. Great defender, gets right up in the grill of Van Vliet and Jalen Green and these guys. I love the way he plays. I just don't know that he's it's hard to sometimes tell how much he's going to score because I'm projecting overs for Butler and Curry, knowing they're going to shoot a lot tonight. Let me see what the lines are saying for Pods. It's projecting a small over. So I would lean there with you. I have him for 13.5 tonight, really pretty tight on the line. But I would lean over if anything. He can score a lot of different ways.
Yeah, our guy Jimmy Hoyt says $100 on exact score is New York pizza money if you get extra cheese. $100 pizza, no beer included either. Get 4 beers, you're up to $175. Good times right now. Let's keep it moving in the chat, or excuse me, in the questions here.
Adam with a good one. Appreciate you. Adam's one of our loyal followers. I could never talk you out of this play because he dominated the paint so much in game one. He got the ball at the free throw line. The Rockets, once they realized Green and Brooks and Thompson weren't scoring, and they just gave Sengun the ball on the free throw line and let him go downhill every single time. So I'm never going to talk you out of this play. I would lean over if anything. But knowing Steve Kerr, he's going to try and actually now take that out of the game. So that's why I'm not on Sengun tonight, is just for the fact that I trust Kerr to kind of to limit him more.
Yeah, and you just keep dropping them, Burnsy.
Yeah, we can rapid fire. This is a play I like a lot. I don't know about you, Shark, but Derek White over first quarter. I personally don't send a lot of quarter props to my guys, my VIP clients, because not everyone can get the same line. But there's really good value on some of these plays. Derek White's one of them. He's going to knock – if it takes him to make 1-3 and one mid-range layup or something to cover here in a game without Tatum, he's going to shoot at least 3 to 4 times in the first quarter. So I do like the over here. It's a really nice take, Joey Millette. I almost said mullet. I had mullet on the mind.
Stephen Curry under 26.5 points. Let me just jump into that for a second.
Yeah, did you look at this one?
I think when you look into the projection of the game being, as we said, like 196, I honestly think that Houston's got to bottle him up. I mean, he went for 30 plus in game one. We talk about Banchero and Wagner carrying the Magic. Curry and Butler had, 69 points. And that was of the 95.
Right.
That's all their points.
To repeat that would be very difficult, knowing the Rockets are going to try and avoid that. Yeah. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Absolutely. And just like, I said it last night. It's funny Jay's not on here to have this conversation round two, but in terms of the refs shading, edging, whatever you want to call the game towards the home team here, Ime Udoka, first of all, is a total throwback coach. Like, they already bring a ton of physicality on defense. They know they're not going to beat the Warriors in some sort of wide open track meet game. They're going to throw Terry Eason. It's going to be Dylan Brooks. It's going to be all these physical guys. I mean, you got Steven Adams. Even Şengün is pretty physical when he wants to be. This game, I honestly think this game is going to be incredibly physical, which, of course, if Curry is getting hit and held, he can't function well. So I think the under there is actually quite a good look. I mean, truthfully, I always say this in terms of these props. Sometimes I just don't want to root against the entertainment of the game. I mean, if Curry's horrible, the game is going to suck. Our guy Nico Harrison in the chat says diabolical. It's diabolical to root against Steph Curry. I'll tell you that. But I do think the numbers point to it. I look just any other.
I don't. I mean, you can say they're an L take, Nico. It's not fun to cheer against Curry, but his fingers hurt, his thumb is hurt.
Look. I mean, Nico did trade Luka at the deadline. Talk about LT. Nico, come on, man. What are you doing, bro? But look, anyway.
Too good. No, I'm with Shark on this. The value is probably on the under, which actually makes me like the Pods take as an over even more because Curry and Butler scored 56 points last game. Houston's going to get physical. They played physical with Curry, and he got pretty hot. I'll never root against him. He's one of my favorite players of all time. But I don't – it's all about value. There's not a lot of value on his over. I don't care what anyone says. The books do not put a lot of value on over 26.5 tonight with the over under and everything playing out as we talk. So it can be an L take. We'll take L takes as long as it's a valuable play. I'm okay with that. I think under is the sharp play, if anything.
Yeah, and again, I think it's just tightly graded too. I mean, I could see him finishing 21 to 25.
To clarify, I'm staying away. I'm not betting it. It's not a good value bet in either direction. We're just trying to give you a take on a Q&A.
Yeah, Anton Palermo says Davion Mitchell and Jabari Smith PRA over.
Interesting. Davion's going to get a lot of minutes tonight. I think he played 30-ish in the first game. He should play the entire game if they're trying to win this to shut down the Cavs offense. So I like Davion in any capacity here, but he's going to be really heavily focused on defense. Jabari Smith, I don't have a take on. Simply because he only shot 3 times. He was 100% from the field in game 1, but he didn't get a lot of looks. So I don't know if you have a feeling on Jabari. It's a stay away for me on his take.
No, honestly, I didn't go into detail on these guys. I'd have to look at their calendars and their box scores in significant detail. I think we got a couple other comments here. Let's talk about the Heat first quarter. I think you got to scroll up for that one. Somebody was talking about Heat +4 first quarter.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, I did find the day we hit the parlay.
Did you?
Yeah, it was Thursday, April 10th.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because Timmy put up 13 points.
Yeah, 12.5. Yeah, and then do you have it written down?
The actual parlay, yeah, I have it on my phone. I can pull it up.
All right, so I'll answer this one. Heat first quarter +4. They were 26 and 15 ATS in the regular season first quarter on the road. They pounded the Bulls, pounded the Hawks. No good in game 1. Here's the problem. Cleveland at home in the early rounds in this little window here with Donovan Mitchell and Garland as their lead two guards. They've been very good in the first quarter and sustainably. That's the problem. This is not the regular season where you'll see Cleveland come out and hammer a team and then let down the next game just because they don't care enough. This is the playoffs. And as I said, you saw it last night with the Thunder. The Thunder blew out the Grizzlies. And then it came back last night up 15 in the first quarter again. So it's so different than regular season basketball where you can kind of like sell a team off a good effort. You can expect a bit of a zigzag. This is just not where these top seeds are going to let down at all. If they do, I'd be shocked. And truthfully, speaking on the number, that's why the number is so high. Like when you see this, I'll just say this because this is how I've handicapped for the better part of the last decade. You don't want to be on the other side of a book line. And what I mean by that is when the game line is only minus 12 and Cleveland's laying 4 points in the first quarter, 4 times 4 is 16, meaning that this is super heavy proportionally for Cleveland in the first quarter. Like books love Cleveland in the first quarter here. It's not a space and value on the dog. And here's the problem. If the Heat win, people get results oriented and they say, see, I was right. Problem there is if you bet against the book lines long-term, you will lose. So you don't want to have a bad habit. If it wins once, it doesn't mean that it's right long-term. And I know from my personal experience, you'd say, no, I know better. I won't do it next time. Trust me, you will do it next time. So stay away from that type of stuff on the wrong side of the line there. Luke, any comments?
Yeah, my comment is I just want to throw back to our parlay. People were asking when it hit. I don't know how well you can see this, but our winning ticket, it was $10 paid 410. This was just from 2 weeks ago. It was a 7-legger on April 10th, as Shark said, and I have the exact picks. We had a screenshot as well. Yeah, we had Jarrett Allen under 8.5 points. Precious Achua over 8.5 rebounds. Ty Jerome over 19.5 points. Pacers money line. Drew Timmy over 12.5. Some people caught 13, so they may not have got it. Points. Nembhard under rebounds and Pistons money line. Bang. It was good to see. A plus 4,000 winner. That'll carry you through another 40 fun parlays. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, if you return 50 to 1, what was that? 10 to win? Oh, 40 to 1. You said
40 to 1 odds. Yeah.
Yeah, so you get 40 units of your parlay money there. And again, it's for fun, but it's also entertaining. And plus, these are sharp takes. That's why we have a high probability. And as Luke said, leading up to that win, we had 3 in a row that were 6 or 7 legs that literally lost by a hook or like an egregious amount. We were involved in that Minnesota game against Milwaukee where Minnesota got outscored in the fourth quarter. Yeah, they got outscored by like 27 in the fourth quarter. So the point is, like, we have a really good read on this. Like, we're not parlay guys at all. We just think it's interesting to package sharp plays, low risk, high reward, and it's very entertaining. Nathaniel O'Mara says Celtics first quarter with no Tatum. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this would be the sharp angle by the books. Because, again, this is the numerical proportion where the books have the first quarter weighted heavier than the game relative to the environment in terms of the proportion. I mean, I don't know. Orlando has been terrible in the first quarter on the road, not only in the playoffs, but in the regular season for the last couple of years. It's just not where they perform. We've seen Boston come out with this second unit, Pritchard being kind of like the ringleader for this group. I mean, with just tons of energy. Yeah. I would never take the other side of this and buy Orlando.
That's exactly the right take, Shark. Is like the bet here, the sharp side is to take Boston because the subs will come in probably with like 5 minutes left in the first quarter, and they could just knock down a bunch of shots. But in the game, like the Celtics probably aren't the play. But in the first quarter, I think the books are showing you that it is the sharp side. Just reiterating what you said.
Yeah, and also just to answer Chris, he says, come on, Wildlose fan, we know you're legit, no need to show proof. We're not showing proof because we know H-Town is our guy. Like, we know he's not out, like, calling us out. It's actually just to jog our memory. I think just because I was curious myself, what was that day and, what were the plays? Any more questions? Kennedy says, new content calendar, April. Yeah, that's where Jay is. He's actually going to Jamaica to take some pictures on the beach for the calendar. He will be back in the second round after the calendar has been fully photographed and produced. Luke, will you be featuring in the calendar?
Oh, I don't know, man. I have the dad bod going, so need to get it some more workouts in before the summer hits. Banchero double-double to switch back to some hoops. I do like this take. I actually like this take a lot. Shark and I have been talked about Banchero's probability of hitting triple-doubles even. So tonight I think a double-double is very reasonable, not only because he's easily going to get 10 points. We know that. He should score almost 30. But his rebounds tonight I think will be there. Tatum accounts for about 8 rebounds himself per game. So there's going to be more potential there, especially if the Celtics are missing more often. I actually love this take by W Main, the G. I like Banchero to hit double-double tonight.
Yeah, what were his numbers in game 1? Did you have that on record?
For like Banchero stats, yeah, it was he put up 36 points and he had 11 rebounds, 4 assists. So I see no reason he doesn't get 10-plus rebounds again tonight.
Yeah, and again, like this guy just stuffs the stat sheet. You know, I dropped a double-double play for Paolo back end of the regular season. It missed by 1. He got 9 rebounds. But you talk about like stuffing the stat sheet. In that particular game, he came out in the first quarter with 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. That's tracking to 28, 20, and 20.
Nobody does that fast in a game. Literally, you'll almost never see it.
Yeah, to be able to like diversify how you play so quickly, like scoring, rebounding, and assisting. Like talk about just elite level basketball. You talk like Magic Johnson type of stuff. And you know, I was talking about Banchero throughout the back end of the regular season. I mean, this guy he's just got an incredible athletic body. He's 6'10", 250. He might even be a little heavier now. I've seen him. He looks like he's put on some muscle, but like he just has incredible basketball pedigree. And of course, his parents, both elite collegiate athletes for the University of Washington. So I would never, ever talk you guys off of Banchero, particularly in games like this, where, as we said, it's going to be all Banchero and Wagner. Like they don't even have a second unit. Like who are you going to trust to score the ball here? Anthony Black, right. Jonathan Isaac. Like, Luke, who the hell are these guys?
So you saw in the play-in game Cole Anthony breakout. But, like, he's not going to be that guy in a tough series. So I agree. I mean, their backups are Isaac, Cole Anthony, Gary Harris, Anthony Black. Like, combined, what was their bench combined? They only scored 11. They only scored 17 points from their bench. Like, it's not a pretty sight for Orlando's bench. I couldn't agree more. It's every reason to take Banchero and Wagner, for the rest of the playoffs. Simply due to usage rate. Theirs is through the roof. I haven't looked actually lately. If you include their play-in game, their usage rate might be number 1 and 2 in the NBA in terms of just the top 2 guys. It should be. I don't know how it would. So, yeah, a lot of hot takes here, Shark. I love it.
No, I mean, I'm not throwing shade at Anthony Black. Trust me, you guys know I don't throw shade at any athletes. I respect the hell out of guys who get to the league. You got to work your ass off to get to the league. It's far more than just natural talent. Like these guys grind, and I certainly respect it. But I will say that they just haven't been scoring the ball with any efficiency. Like Luke said, 17 or 18, just nothing, absolutely nothing. And if you go back to the last game that the Magic played in the regular season at Boston, they got completely blown out in that game. Paolo scored 21 points. There was actually a little bit more of a balanced ticket in terms of the scoring for Orlando. In that game, Wendell Carter actually had 15 points and 9 rebounds. One of those games that he shows up. And Cole Anthony actually had a game. He had 23 points. You know, truthfully, I think that's the player you might want to target because, you know, Cole Anthony is like extremely volatile. Like he has the ability to just explode. Like he did it randomly, like against Atlanta or one of the teams in the back end of the regular season, I believe. Yeah,
I just couldn't figure out why he didn't play. Like I understand it's a tough game, but he played 10 minutes. Like that's where the rotations get so wild from coaches. I mean, he went off in at the end of the season a few times, and he gets 10 minutes. Like it's wild. So for that reason, I don't have a take. It could be a bounce back game where he plays 20 minutes and puts up 10-plus points. I agree, Shark. It's just props. Certain props get very difficult in the playoffs, and others get you can find your spots. So, like I said, we've been hitting max plays, but some of the other low-key players, there's less value on them. So, very interesting to follow.
Yeah, definitely. This particular that game, just 1 point. Anthony Black did score 13 points that game. So the game in the regular season, the Boston actually played 2 in Orlando this year. Orlando only visited TD Garden once. It was Banchero 21, Carter Jr. 15, Cole Anthony 23, and Anthony Black 13. And, you talk about like in championship games, like players not getting any burn. When you said that, it actually reminded me of the Olympics where Jason Tatum didn't even touch the court in one game. Like forget guys that are like the role players for the Orlando Magic. NBA champion Jason Tatum didn't play an entire Olympic game. Like this is the insanity of like when you get to the championship level games.
Yeah. And I'll just reiterate this one last time because when I look at this box score, I laugh every single time. Banchero, Wagner, 27 shot attempts, 24 shot attempts. The next highest, 6. I mean, 27, 24, 6. Like it is, you'll almost never see that for any team in the NBA ever. So it's just an interesting take that we can try and take advantage of in certain ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's 50 minutes. We've been talking for a while. We love you guys in the chat. You guys bring us the fire every day. We feed off your energy. We appreciate you guys immensely. 3 games today, a lot of top plays. They're all stated before. Luke, give them a couple words, and I'll close it out.
Yeah, for those of you that are just tuning in or maybe missed it, best bet prop of the night was Peyton Pritchard over 11.5 points, but we gave a lot of other takes, answered some Q&A. Appreciate you guys a lot. I'm looking forward to a big night tonight. Let's cash another max play for my VIP squad. Okay.
Absolutely. My top play, Wagner over 22.5, and we really do like Porzingis over 19.5 as well. Appreciate you guys immensely. Enjoy the card. Let's cash tickets. Wednesdays are for winning. Stay strong, stay fast, stay disciplined, and let's dominate.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort.